Hey Megan, it's so great to have you here.
Yes, I'm happy that you invited me and we get to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so cool that you're all the way over there abroad. It's so fun.
Yes.
For sure.
Distance seems so far, but technology can make you feel so close.
Yeah, it really can. I know, it's amazing. I love technology. Yes. So, Megan, can you tell everyone watching and listening, can you tell everybody about yourself?
Yes, so my name is Megan. I'm originally from the United States, a super small town in Minnesota. When I graduated from high school, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. That was always a dream of mine. My mom's a teacher, so I spent so much time in the classroom. So I knew that was something I wanted to do. But I wanted to do a different track and I wanted to travel. So I became, in my eyes, like a little traveling teacher. So I'm
Yeah.
currently teaching in Sweden and I'm a math teacher here. And last year I taught English in South Korea. And the year prior to that, I was a substitute teacher in Australia. So kind of
Wow.
been everywhere and I've done a little bit of everything.
Oh, that's so awesome. Wow. You are like living the dream over there. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get abroad. I know with the craziness in the world, it's kind of hard to do that right now.
Yeah.
But
It's one of
yeah.
those things. I accepted my job back in April, May. I was hopeful that by now things would calm down because it's hard to travel abroad to begin with, but then not to
Right.
be able to do all your socializing like normal and the fear of what's going on at home and your family and friends. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully next year, if you do try and go abroad, there's more opportunities and not as much pressure and worry.
Yes, I know. I sure hope so too. That would be awesome. I don't know. I have just figured, I need to go because I've been in the States for so long. So I just need like adventure. I need something different. But yeah, awesome. So, Megan, which is your favorite country that you've taught in?
For teaching, I have to say currently where I'm teaching in Sweden, it's great. I love teaching math. I'm a elementary degree like holder, so I went to college to teach kindergarten through year 6.
Uh-huh.
But math has always been my favorite subject as a kid, and now teaching it as well. So I teach year 6 math. So it's lots of math. I have 128 students, but teaching math is fun. The students are fun. So teaching wise, I have to say Sweden is by far my favorite place I've got to teach.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool. Very fun.
Um,
And what exactly do you like about Sweden?
Sweden, so where I work at an international English school. So
Huh?
there's about 80 staff members there, and over half of them are foreign originally. Some of them have lived in Sweden now for 10 plus years. So they have dual citizenship and are married and have kids here. So they're very much Swedes. But
Yeah.
it's such a mix of both Swedish people and non Swedish people, so expats.
Mhm.
So you have those people who are willing to share the traditions and teach you some words and have the Swedish side, but you also have the expat side, which is nice because they're more the ones who want to go travel or invite you over for like a Thanksgiving meal or Christmas because they also don't have family and friends here. So
Mm.
it's nice to
Mhm.
have a community and a mix of both.
Yeah. Oh, that makes so much sense. That's really cool. It's nice to get some nice, friends where you're at, wherever you are. It's nice to have people that you can connect with. So,
Yes, and in Sweden we have lots of darkness right now. The sun comes up at
mm,
about 9 a.m. and it goes down by 2:30. So you need some
wow.
friends, some long dark nights.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like it. Oh my goodness. That's nice though. Wow, it's so interesting. I love it. Awesome. And where else are you wanting to go? Like, where's on your teaching bucket list?
So my goal is to get to every continent, and I've taught in the U.S. as well, so that crosses off North America.
Mhm.
So I've been at 4 continents and 4 countries. So ideally next year I'm looking at South Africa or else South America. So that's my
Um,
goal. Again, take COVID in mind. I've learned this year it's hard to travel with COVID. Moving to Sweden, I was hoping to go to a different country every weekend or every other weekend, and
mhm.
I've made it to 4 in the last 5 months, which is not as high as I wanted it to be. So
Yeah.
we'll see with COVID and what happens. It might be a year that I go back home or go to a different state in the U.S. as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully one day each continent, and we'll go from there.
That's so cool. Awesome. That's such a great goal to want to hit every continent. Nice. I know you'll have so many different fun
Yeah.
stories to tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
It's a way to not only but also like the community and the culture. It's one thing to visit or be there for a month or two, but to really live there for a year and know people and meet people and have the students share their culture and traditions. It's a way to really become like part of the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's because it's a lot more than when you just go somewhere as a tourist and just seeing all the famous or popular places. It's like you're actually living in it as someone that, is naturally from there. So, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And what is something that you're excited about in your future?
Uh, I don't have like any significant plans for my future, which young me back at like 16, that would have freaked me out. I wanted to go get married and have kids and have a plan. And now that that isn't part of my at least nearby future, it's nice. I don't feel like I have a timeline that I have to go to a certain place or I only have 2 years left to travel or I need to get home soon. I have no real plan and the world is my oyster. I can go literally anywhere and I don't have any fears traveling abroad. I know my family does, but I can go anywhere and I like that the options are endless and the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, yeah, that's so great. It's nice to not really have any like huge plans. It's just like kind of go as you want. That's really awesome. Yeah, nice. And how is teaching in Sweden different from teaching in North America?
So, for one thing, my class sizes are 32 students, which I know for some schools that's the norm. For me, that was on the larger side. So, when I
Yeah.
taught in the US, my classes had 20 students. My mom currently teaches in the US. She has 13 students this year. So, for
Wow.
me to have 32, it's a lot of students, and our classrooms are on the smaller side as well. So, it's a lot of bodies in a little room. And yeah, it's just that part's a little different. Academics wise, we teach a lot of the same thing. It's very rigorous curriculum, and so we have to get it through. And today was actually our national testing going on, so I had about 8 hours so that I proctored some national tests. So it was a long day, but yeah, we have high academics. Expectations for the student and we work hard to meet them. So I think that's similar for both countries. I
Mhm.
think the students' respect in home life here is quite different. In Sweden, it's very, students are seen as individuals, which the US we see that as well. But the US we have lots of consequences and checks and balances. You do this, this happens. And in Sweden, it's more their responsibility. So if they see something's wrong, then it's their responsibility to fix it, and nothing can really be forced from the school side. Which, of
Mm.
course, there's positives and negatives to that.
Yeah. I think that's a nice way to do it though, instead of just being like right or wrong. I feel like that helps to build them up too. It helps to build like good character because it's like, okay, they have to think about it. Like, okay, is this right or is this wrong?
Yeah.
So,
And you can see the maturity in them because of that. They are,
mhm,
I would say, more mature than American students.
mhm.
I teach sixth graders, so they're 10 and 11-year olds, but some of the conversations they have or the questions they bring up is much higher. So I'd say they're on the mature side, positive or negatives as well with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was in Italy for a few months, like several years back. And I was an au pair. So I was with the family and, they were really cool. And you could just see though, because I would have to go on the train and do like some Italian classes. So I would see like a lot of, school age kids all the time. And you could just see that they're so different than American children. Just like
Yeah,
they are a lot more mature. And I mean, like these kids are taking the bus or taking the trains like by themselves. And I'm like, what?
I know.
But
We have
yeah.
elementary students at the time, and that was
Mhm.
not a thing for me. I never took public transportation until I moved abroad, so that was a new thing for me at 20.
Yeah, for sure. It's so crazy. Wow. And so this is a different question, but what made you think that you wanted to teach abroad? Like, how did you know that you wanted to go abroad?
So, like I mentioned before, I come from a very rural town, a town of
Yeah.
just 1,000 people,
Mhm.
and my dad's a farmer and my mom's a teacher. So I did not come from a lot of money. So we went on trips occasionally, and if it was up to Minneapolis for like a Twins game, or
Mhm.
else we get to go to Valley Fair, which is the amusement park there, for a weekend. And so I got to see the Midwest, but it was always like a road trip. Or else occasionally I could go to see my relatives in California, but it was very nearby. And I knew I wanted to go see more and do more. And so when I went to college, I wanted to go study abroad.
Mhm.
But the way my college set up and with the education path, that just wasn't part of the cards. I wasn't able to fit it into my time in school. So what next thing could you do is you work abroad. And it's kind of nice. I get paid to travel now. So instead of paying to study abroad, I get paid to travel abroad. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, and it's interesting. I'm kind of the little spokesperson for my little town. I was the first person to actually transfer money to a foreign bank account in my town. So I went when I first time I moved abroad, it was the whole system got a little whacked up. And even now when I use my small town bank card, they know it's me because they get an alert in the system. Oh, somebody's in Sweden. Oh, that's Megan. And so my parents might have to go in and fix it. But yeah, I grew up in such a small sheltered community and I wanted to see more and do more. And yeah, what better time to do it than in your 20s and as your job?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a great way. And I feel like that's the best. You're not just going everywhere spending so much money, but you're actually working abroad and you're getting to experience life and do different great things there too. So that's so cool.
Yeah, you meet
Nice.
so many people.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. It's got to be the coolest thing. Maybe next year for me. I don't know.
There
But
you go. Hey, you were in a pair, so you got a little experience there to work with.
yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And I think working online too, it's like it makes it a little easier to go abroad. But I mean, you don't have to
Yeah,
yeah. But I would have to probably do like a few months or like 3 months in each place.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think it'll still be fun. Yes.
Yeah.
So so do you have any advice, say, for someone that's maybe just starting out if they want to go and do what you're doing? What advice would you want to give them?
I would say don't have your mind made up on one specific place you want to go. So when I graduated, I really wanted to go to Europe. I really wanted to teach in actually England. And
Hmm.
so I applied to probably 100 schools in England and I heard back from maybe 5 of them and none of them were here's an interview. It's all we have declined your application. And so I
Mhm.
was really hurt and I knew I was a new teacher, but I didn't know why. And ironically enough, one of the teachers or one of the principals who turned down my application said, because of visa restrictions, we can't have you work in the UK because of sponsorship, but you can teach in Australia. And Australia at the time wasn't even a country I even thought of. I was so set on going to Europe and teaching in England that
Mhm.
I didn't even consider the other places. So
Yeah.
being open-minded to places, take people's recommendations into consideration, and use your like friends and resources. Every school I've worked for and every place I've moved has all been recommended from somebody else, or a friend I know used to teach there, or a friend of a friend applied and she recommends it. So reach out to
Yeah.
people and listen to what people say. They
Oh,
give the real insight.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's really good advice because I know a lot of people get so disappointed if it doesn't work out how they expect it to, but you just kind of got to go with whatever, just yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I have
And
lots of people in a broad community. They take a lot of time. The amount of schools I've heard back is probably 5% of the schools I've applied to, and
wow.
they just get a lot of intake, and a lot of the uh, letters just don't always stick out. And don't feel bad about yourself. There's a school out there for you. So have patience and keep looking.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent advice for sure. Thank you for that. So, how did you end up as a substitute in Australia? Oh, is it
Could you
catching
say
up?
that again? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So, how did you end up as a substitute teacher in Australia?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag.
Uh-oh. Can you can you hear me now? Let's see. How did you end up as a substitute teacher in Australia?
So, like I mentioned, when I
Yeah.
was looking for jobs in Europe, the principal turned me down, but she offered or suggested to look into Australia because of our visa requirements. So since I was under 35, I think is the cap, I could get a working holiday visa. So I
Mhm.
didn't need a company or a job to sponsor me. I can just go there for myself for a year. So anybody can. So if you wanted to look into Australia, there's a place to go.
Wow.
But it was, yeah. So she forwarded that to me. And then from there, I found a company who had schools and connections in Australia.
Mhm.
And with part of our visa, we can't stay in the same school for more than 6 months. And so, with my visa saying I could live in Australia for a year, the most logical thing to do is to substitute because you're at a different school every day. So, it kind of
Mhm.
worked out that I wasn't in one school for 6 months, but I did work for the same company for a year. But
Oh.
yeah, if you know anything about Australian children or Australians in general, they're very wild. So being a substitute with some wild children made for quite a year. Lots of stories.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. That's fun. So, what part of Australia were you in?
I lived in Melbourne, so the south side, not Sydney, but the second largest city. I know
Yeah,
when I before I moved there, I had only ever heard of Sydney. So yes, Melbourne's the second largest and it's only a bit smaller. But
awesome.
while I lived in Australia, I actually traveled to every state. There's 6 states in Australia, and I went to all the capital cities. So I got to see it all, and it was great. That's a perk of being a substitute. You can make your own schedule. So if you want to work 2 days a week and travel 5 days a week, you can.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. I think Australia would be really fun to go to. And this is like a me question. Did you get to go to the Australia Zoo, the Irwin's Australia Zoo?
I did.
Oh
And they
my
have
god.
koalas that are just hanging from trees, and you can hold them and you can touch them. It's great.
Oh, I want to go there so bad. Oh, so I actually got I get their magazines and I got her Bindi and Chandler's autographs on the magazine.
Aw.
So I know. I haven't been to the
I
zoo though.
unfortunately did not meet any of them.
Yeah.
No, no. I was
um,
hoping they'd be there, but yeah.
yeah. I know. I feel like probably a good time to go would either be on Steve Irwin Day, which is in November, or to go
Yep.
on one of their birthdays. I think they always have something cool going on their birthdays. So I figure if I try to catch it around one of those days, then maybe I'll get to meet the Irwins.
There you
Yeah.
go. It's on the
Yeah.
bucket list. It will happen.
Yeah, for sure. Eventually it's going to happen. I don't know when, but oh, so cool though. That's awesome that you've done there. Oh my goodness. So cool. um and what are some fun or interesting experiences that you've had while being abroad? Like it doesn't have to be in the classroom. It could just be just life abroad or, any like interesting
Yeah.
stories.
I think my most interesting. So while I lived in Australia, I went to a lot of different countries. I went to Thailand, by far my favorite place I've ever visited. Absolutely beautiful. I went to New Zealand a couple times, which is also equally beautiful. But my college roommates came to visit me while I was in Australia. And the
Oh.
most memorable trip is we went to Fiji for 5 days.
Mhm.
And our tour company for in Fiji was a bit of a mess, to say the least. When we
Yeah.
showed up at the airport, the company didn't pick us up right away. We didn't know where to go. It was quite chaotic.
Mhm.
And when we got to a hostel, we were at the wrong hostel, so they didn't have a booking for us. And
Oh.
then out of the three of us, we only had two of our names down. And that was the start of our time in Fiji. We all thought we were scammed and we were going to be stuck on this little island for 4 or 5 days, but
Right.
we made the most of it. It's by far the most memorable trip.
Yeah.
Again, whenever you stay in a hostel, you meet some interesting people. So we met interesting people while staying in a hostel. And yeah, Fiji's fun, but make sure you have a reputable tour company and you have everything planned before you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's good to know that, and it sounds like fun. I know, Fiji seems like it'd be really cool. My aunt, she's been there, and, she said if you get a hamburger there, it's, like, super expensive, but she said it's beautiful, though.
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. One of those
Yeah.
places you don't need a fancy camera, you don't need any filters. Everything's just naturally beautiful.
Oh, that's so awesome. Wow, I bet it's really neat. Um, and so when you're just traveling from place to place, how do you travel? Like, do you just hop on Ryanair or, like one of these little airlines, or how do you do it?
I'm a very thrifty person.
Mhm.
So currently, while I'm in Sweden, I check Skyscanner and I check Student Universe for cheap flights almost daily.
Mhm.
And it's always leaving from Stockholm to destination anywhere. And whatever the cheapest flight is for that weekend, I usually buy it. So I've gone to London a couple weekends ago or a month ago, and it was 25 US dollars round trip. So you
What?
can't say no to that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I
That's
was supposed to go
amazing.
to Vienna a couple weeks ago. Again, that was like $26 round trip. And COVID
Yeah.
ruined those plans. But yeah,
Mm.
you just have to have your eye out for it. And if anything's ever under $100, I usually book it right then and there and plan everything afterwards. If I need to get a different bus to the airport or maybe miss school about 5-10 minutes and skip out, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I think that's amazing. It sounds like you're having so many cool adventures over there.
Yeah, no, cheap airlines, know how to use your Skyscanner and Student Universe, different resources. You can get some cheap
Mhm.
flights.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's very good to know. And like when you're around, do you usually take the bus or train? Like if you're just going somewhere kind of close by?
While I visit or where I currently live.
Um, like where you live, I don't know, from get like point A to point B, like kind of close by.
Yeah. So right now it's Swedish winter, so I'm taking the bus to school.
Mm-hmm.
But Sweden's very known for bikes. So come spring, I will take a bike. I got here in August and it was August, September before it got too cold. So I didn't
Yeah.
invest in a bike yet. But come spring, I will get a bike and everybody in the city bikes. All the students bike. Even in the winter, they have special bike tires so that you
Hmm.
can bike in the ice and snow.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I take the bus because it is easy and I don't like the cold, so I don't have to be outside. But
Yeah.
most speeds are.
Right. I know they're probably so used to it. Oh man, that's awesome. And you have your blog. So can you share about your blog and like what do you write about? I'm sure everyone would love to hear about it.
So it's called Megan Moves Abroad. Pretty easy, my name.
Yeah.
Megan Moves Abroad. And it's just different experiences I've had either traveling abroad or teaching abroad. I think it's great for people to leave their little communities or hometowns and try something new. If it's for a year, if it's for 2 years, if it's like me and it's infinitely forever, it's
Yeah.
good to have an experience. And I hope through my blog I can inspire other people to either travel abroad at least or look into teaching abroad. And there's resources there for people who do want to teach abroad. So I know it's very daunting, and I wish when I was starting the search I had somebody to talk to and help me with and give me pointers. So I hope if there's somebody else out there who needs a person, I can help them as well.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. I feel like that's great. And it's nice that you have your blog to share your adventures. And, for anybody that has questions, they can go to you. That's really great. Yeah. I might be
Yeah,
asking you for advice when it comes time for me to travel.
absolutely. I love it.
Oh,
And I like seeing every picture they do move abroad, or if it's to places I've been, if I recommend it. And then I have people who are living in Melbourne now, and it's great to see it or see them teaching some of my same students from the past too.
oh, yeah, that's so fun. I bet that would be such a great experience. Wow. Yeah. And so, sorry, I'm going kind of back for a minute, but for someone that wants to do like substitute teaching or something like that abroad, do you have to have like a teaching degree?
So for most places, you need a bachelor's at least, and then it
Mhm.
depends on the country and what the school asks for. So I
Okay.
know in South Korea and in most Asian countries, you don't need a teaching degree. You don't need an education background. I
Mm.
worked with an interior designer and like a fashion designer, so
Oh.
they didn't have any experience with education.
Mhm.
But for the most part, you need a bachelor's. I know is that even if you have like a 2 year degree, that works fine. There's lots of companies out there that if you don't have experience, they pay for your TEFL. So you have like a 1 month course with them, which is usually a really long week, 2 weeks, month. And
Mhm.
then from there, they guarantee a job for you so you can start wherever.
Oh, great.
Australia, you did need qualifications. So I
Mhm.
had to send my degree, and it was a lot of paperwork back and forth. But
Yeah.
yeah. And even here in Sweden, I have my K through 6 degree, so I can sign off on their grades up to year 6. But if I was
Mhm.
to teach them next year for year 7, I would not be able to sign off. I could still teach them,
Mhm.
but legally I can't give them grades. So it depends
Oh,
on your school and to work with you and see what your qualifications are.
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That's very good to know. And this is another random question. What about holidays? So, have you experienced any like interesting holidays out there or anywhere?
Yeah. So actually, this Christmas, I'll be going home. In the past, I usually spend my holidays just wherever I'm at. My goal this year was to spend my 3 weeks for a holiday in Europe and exploring Europe or going to maybe like Egypt and Morocco, Northern Africa. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, travel is put at a standstill. So it was either stay in Sweden for my break or else go home. So I'm making the most of it and going home.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you get to experience the holidays here. We had Huslov in Sweden about a month ago, which is equivalent to like their fall break.
Uh-huh.
I learned in Sweden they celebrate Christmas on December 24th, not the 25th. We had a little
Mm.
countdown in our classroom of when Christmas is, and the students kept correcting me until I realized, oh, it's not the numbers wrong, we have the date wrong. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
makes sense.
Australia, they had Australian Day, which is equivalent to the US's 4th of July. We have
Mm.
more fireworks stuff, but the
Yeah.
Australian way of it. Other
Nice.
things. Lots of different food holidays. I've tried so much different foods for different holidays like that.
Oh, that's so awesome. Wow. Sounds so interesting. Just getting to experience so many different things like that. Just holiday culture, people, food. Wow.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
always love to share that with you. So it's always cool to hear, like, oh, this is what we have. We have these ginger cookies, and you put in Sweden they have ginger cookies and they put blue cheese on their ginger cookies. I don't know
Oh,
why, but it's a thing. And I would have never guessed that, but you have people here and they love it and they love telling you why and the how and just the history of it as well. So
yeah.
something as like tourist, you don't always get the personal side and story. So living here, they give you that.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah. It's nice. I mean, there's got to be a story behind everything. So it's just really nice that they enjoy sharing it too, sharing their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's so fun. Oh, I love it. And can you tell our listeners and watchers how they can connect with you, like on Instagram or anything?
Yeah, you can add me on Instagram. It's MeganVL34. Or else, like I said, my uh, blog is meganmovesabroad.com. And my email is
Great.
also meganmovesabroad@gmail.com. So you can message me on any of those. You can send me an email. Like I said, if you ever want to move abroad, I offer workshops and clinics. So
Mhm.
to kind of offer my expertise with people and don't ever let cost be a factor. Like I just want you to have the opportunity. So let me know and we can work something out. Or if you need more personal help, we can help make a little resume and help you find jobs and personalize your experience as well. But yeah,
Oh,
I love
very
I love
cool.
helping people get them out there. So if I can change one person's life and make them have the move abroad, that's a good help.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's really nice that you're so wanting to help people too, because I mean, I feel like that's the greatest thing is to just be living a life full of so much adventure where you're not sure like what's going to happen next, but there's so many great things that are going on in your life and that you have experienced and that you have yet to experience. So it's great to want to share that and help others to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Megan, that's it for today. So it was so great having you on. I'm very happy that you got
Yes,
to
thank
come
you so
on.
much. Love
Yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. If you have anything else that you'd like to share or anything, then I'd be happy to have you back.
Good. And when you start to travel and teach abroad, let me know and I can help you out too.
Oh, perfect. Yes, I will totally be getting back to you and letting you know what's going on and where I'm going and all the good stuff. Yes, for
Good.
sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Megan. I hope that you have a great evening. I know it's night there, so yes. All right. And
Yes.
yeah, and everybody, oh, of course. And everybody else definitely check out Megan on Facebook and on YouTube and sorry. Check out Megan on Instagram and check out her blog. Megan lives abroad. Yes. Oh, I'm used to my podcast. But yeah.
Eventually I'll make a Facebook and a YouTube. Well, that will
Oh,
happen soon, hopefully.
oh, good. And when you do, I'll add those links so then you can share that with me.
Oh.
And then, yes. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Megan. I will catch you later. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.